let's take a look at the annuals and see how they're performing in my Zone 5B garden at the end of July. Welcome to Joy in the Garden. So let's start right here with the pink cashmere Supertunias. I have wanted to grow this since they first came out with it. So once I heard that this was similar to the whiteout variety, I knew I had to try it. And in fact, I changed my color scheme up here so that I could grow these beauties right here. And there are 3 of these pink cashmere Supertunias plants here. And behind the bushes here, there are also 3 plants. This is the Senorita Rosalita Cleome. This is, I think, the 4th year that I have grown this. I do buy it as a plant. I do not start it from seed. It is perfect back here. I've tried quite a few things back here. I love how this stance of flowers gets about a foot taller than the bushes in front. It'll get a little bit taller yet this year. It has a beautiful, beautiful color. And honestly, the color, for whatever reason, is the most beautiful when the sun is setting. There's something about the purple. It's just glorious. It gets about 4 feet tall, so you have to have the right place for it, or you have a great place and you've just never found such a perfect plant as the Senorita Rosalita Cleome. Now there is a white version as well, and I have to find a plant to try that next year. And down here we have the Sweet Caroline sweet potato vine, and I have that repeated on the other side over here as well. Now I love this specific sweet potato vine. It grows more like a bush. It is not something, in my opinion, that you really want in a container. But if you have a place in your landscape where you just want a pop of chartreuse, I think this Sweet Caroline variety is perfect. It is a little hard to find because there's so many sweet potato vine varieties, but it's perfect there. Next to the sweet potato vine is the Arctic Blue salvia. Now, I do grow different varieties of salvias. I like picking up and trying different varieties. This has actually been one of my favorites because I like the little white throughout the plant. I just think it kind of helps it to pop and show up a little better. And then this is a lantana. I think I have 2 plants here. This is the luscious citron lantana, and I do love lantanas. I love that color of yellow. It's not a goldy yellow, it's more like a lemony yellow. And I did start from seed these tall blue planet ageratums. I will absolutely do that again. I really liked being able to pop those around. They were really easy to grow from seed. Probably look the healthiest of all of my seeds. Very easy to grow. So let's head over here. There's a little pink cashmere popping through the bush. So over here, there's a sweet potato vine, and then I have some foxgloves. Foxgloves are not annuals, they are biennials. What that means is that they will live 2 years and then they will die. So the foxglove is a beautiful, beautiful plant. So both of these I started from seed this past winter. In the front here, I have 2 of the Dalmatian peach foxglove. And then back here, that is the Camelot lavender. So I did not think that foxglove would like this garden bed because it gets so much sun. But I thought, oh heck, let's just try. These foxglove are actually the healthiest of all my foxgloves. So part of that is I think we're getting a lot of rain. So I think if this would have been more of a drought year, I don't think they would have been as successful. So these foxgloves should die back and then return next year. My understanding is they'll be a little taller next year and they'll probably bloom a little earlier next year. Absolutely beautiful. And then an annual that I have kind of growing amongst the foxglove there is the Wedgwood Pink Angelonia. Now, I just put this opalescence phlox perennial right here in front. That's this beautiful thing right here. I just added that this spring, and I really wasn't sure how long it would bloom. Now, it has been blooming off and on for well over a month, probably 6 weeks. And the blooms are not as full now, as you see right there, but it continues to put out more blooms. But back to the Wedgwood Pink Angelonia, I thought, I might need something to kind of take over. Again, I really didn't expect the Foxgloves to even produce. So I do like that Wedgwood Pink there. Now, it's not a real showy perennial, but I do like the softness that it has, and it adds just a little more touches of color when that opalescence phlox is not in bloom. So that was just kind of a lucky, happy accident. That said, I actually, if I were to do this over again, I might add a tall white angelonia back there, and maybe even white with the Wedgwood Pink. And I think that could look really nice. I do believe when these hydrangeas are not blooming, I need a little more white in this front garden. So speaking of white, my favorite type of petunia is the Mini Vista Supertunia. And this is the white Mini Vista Supertunia. I like it because I have slowly been adding perennials and shrubs to this front yard. And the Mini Vista series is a size that's really easy to tuck in. They don't get huge, but they're really beautiful, full of flowers. This is actually the plum veined variety of Mini Vista Supertunia, and that is really pretty. Now, I will say my favorite variety is Indigo Mini Vista Supertunia. That indigo color is just beautiful. However, like I said before, I was going to try these verbenas, and I wanted to go a little more pink. So I went with this new plum vein color, and I really like it. I just do like the indigo color a little better. The performance is phenomenal and very similar. And here we have grown from seed gomphrena. This taller variety here is the atomic purple. And then I have a shorter variety there, Buddy. And then amongst all of this is a little yellow ball. That is a completely different plant. That's a craspedia. I think I'm saying that right. A sunball craspedia. I started a bunch of them from seed, planted them all over, and this is my one and only bloom. So I'm kind of leaving it there. Gives it kind of a Dr. Seuss feel. And then one last area up here. On the right side there is some more of that atomic purple gomphrena grown from seed, and those are growing beautifully. Now that said, all the gomphrena that I had in the backyard were eaten down by rabbits. So I did have to protect the couple up here with the cloche until they got bigger. And now I don't have to do anything and the rabbits leave them alone. And in front there is the beautiful coral sedum. That is an annual for me. I have that kind of all over as well. I just do have to point out though, this is like some generic, I picked this up at a nursery, petunia. It's called, let's see, Painted Purple Love Petunia. Really pretty. I just saw it and thought, I think I want to add that. So I think it kind of just adds a little bit of a nice little touch. And there's some more of that tall blue planet ageratum. You know, again, last year, any other year, I didn't have anything tucked in that corner back there. So that blue ageratum is just something, you know, when you grow it from seed, you have a lot of plants. And so you kind of like, where can I put it? Where can I put it? And it kind of gets you to, I don't know, put things where you might not have put them before. So that's what I like about it as well. And that Purple Painted Love Petunia is repeated in the front here, as well as the plumbed vein Mini Vista. I have cut that Mini Vista back so it will rebound here pretty soon. And then this white angelonia, which I really like here. So that's why I think I kind of want to add it in the landscape. I think it'll be a little really pretty. And then that lovely mandevilla just looks like it's a little bow on top of the little girl's head. In the spirit of talking about how annuals perform, I purposely planted the coral sedum, that's an annual for me on the left side, right next to the angelina sedum, which is a perennial for me. And I wanted to see really how they compared to one another, because I do purchase a lot of coral sedum every year, again, as an annual. So it's a great comparison. I will say the angelina sedum is much prettier than I anticipated. I do think I'll still continue to purchase and plant as many of the coral sedums, because it's hard to beat that, that bright chartreuse. But it's a good comparison as I'm trying to add more perennials each year and a little less annuals each year. So when we come back here to this area here, that's more part sun, there really aren't very many annuals at all. So except for begonia. So there's a couple different varieties that I have back here. The dragon wing pink, which really is more coral in my opinion. And it has really a really pretty arching to it, really low maintenance. It's happy this year because it's raining a lot. It was happy other years when we had less rain, more drought. So just, really happy. So I kind of stick with that. And even in my containers back here, again, begonias. Now this year in the containers, I do have the Surefire Rose Begonia from Proven Winners. So I've been trying different begonias back here because I want these containers to match. And this is full sun and the other one is part shade. Surefire Rose Begonia in full sun. That is very, very, very pretty. And this is the, let's see, skyscraper orange salvia. And I do have it popped here. I have it popped over here in this garden. I think I have, right here. And I actually added that because hummingbirds love it. And I love to come out here at night and watch the hummingbirds. So there you go. A couple years ago was the first time I started popping begonias around in different places. And I've been really surprised just tucking them here and there, just what a difference they've made in the landscape. So I also am going to do a separate YouTube video on things I started from bulbs. But some really pretty caladiums this year, I think, have added to that pink and red kind of pop. This right here is the Mini Me Watermelon Coleus. That's a new one for me. And I love it there. I bought it not knowing where I was going to put it, thinking, where could I add more pops? So just a nice little annual Coleus, kind of making a show there. And this coral sedum, it's an annual for me, in front of that midnight sun weigela, makes all the difference in the world. It really makes that shrub pop. So really pretty. I think I will repeat that as well. And in this corner back here, every year I do plant a few annual coleus. This area gets sun in the morning and shade all afternoon. So the coleus, even on years that we are barely getting rain, I really don't have to water it. I can kind of let it go because, and again, it is protected in the afternoon shade. So I have not been able to find, a perennial or shrub that has this, I don't know, that kind of bright, burgundy, which, it really pulls out the red in the smoke bush, which the smoke bush is not as red as usual because it's new growth that is red on the smoke bush. But once I trim that back and this fall, the new growth is red, this really pulls it. So this is, on the left there is El Brido, and then Dipped in Wine is on the right. And you can barely see back there is, what is it, Golden Dreams. I probably didn't need to put 3 of them in there. I probably should have planted them a little further over. But I do plant these every year. And this year, this is the first year, there's actually a pot in there. You can barely see the pot. But these are caladiums, which, you know, are annuals, but they're bulbs. And then this, there isn't even a name to this coleus. It's just like a generic coleus. I picked up like a 4-pack, and they've been beautiful this year. But I do think coleus really makes a difference. It really brings just amazing color to the landscape. One last thought about annuals. When you're selecting your annuals, think about whether you are going to be walking by and looking at it quite close on a regular basis, or whether it's more of a garden bed you're going to see from further away. Let's use this container as an example here. Look at that coleus, that beautiful, bright pink. It's just so pretty. It just takes my breath away. I love it. But as I pull back, I see less and less of that pretty pop of pink. Now for this space, typically people are looking at this or walking by it. It's a major pathway. So this is perfect in this spot. But then let's take a look at this new garden bed. For this new garden bed, most people are actually looking at it from further away. So for the annuals that I think will be the most, add the most value to this newer bed here, they really need to have a punch. They probably need to be a significant size because most people are going to view it from further away. Now the only annual here that I know I'll repeat will be that tall blue planet ageratum, because that actually does provide a really pretty pop of blue all season long. But that's really just something you really want to think about. Size and detail and what's the right annual for your space. Thank you all for joining me today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, maybe even subscribe. Have a great day.